Thankful. Things are never ever the same when I call on your name, Jesus. For there are so many reasons and so many seasons why I must give thanks and continuous praise, feet stomping, me shouting with both my hands raised, never ashamed. For you always amaze, for starting and departing my days. In so many ways, I am so thankful for how then and now your love displays, projects and then sprays like sun rays as your spirit runs continuous relays, passing me the baton of praise. I receive, then inhale and take all of you in, all, not leaving any on the rim. For Jesus, you are so real, and with you I always feel the need to plant seeds in people I meet and with people I greet, for I cannot be discreet, and I will never retreat. For you always stayed, and your spirit always laid when I was always ready to sit and ready to tip over the edge, but you unknowingly driven the wedge between enough and more than enough. Help me grow to be tough, and help me to trust you, holding me together with your spirit and your glue. I promise my spirit says yes, and not just because I'm so blessed, but because I was so weary and burdened, but you gave me rest. Push me to not settle for less. You then came to arrest and address all of my stress, and I am so thankful for continued access, for you removing my fears, collecting now only souvenirs, because you win all battles when I'm rattled. All I do is come to you and let you do what you do, proving time and time again that your word is so true, and only blessings accrue. So even if I can reach a few, or even one or two, I am all in, for my spirit has fallen, so in love with you. For you have caused my enemies to flee, instantly, boom, setting me free, like your word has decreed. And yes, I agree with what your word proclaims, that there is so much power in your name. Because I've seen you stand in between and become water in one's empty canteen. And Jesus, once your name is said, people are led and people are fed. Emotions rearrange, lives change, for there is always an exchange at the mention of your name. For you are a personal God. You are an intentional God. And you are the reason that you receive all of my applause. I pray that your sheep stay deeply rooted in a world that seems to somehow now be dressed and suited with your word that's been revamped, airbrushed, and rebooted, like a bad remake of a good movie, just polluted. As I watch, so many of your people are persecuted for not choosing to stay muted, but I refuse. As I sit down in your presence to remove my laces and shoes, to sit even for a bit with an authentic praise, you seem to always listen to this Christian who is sometimes agitated and aggravated with how the enemy tries to confuse. But in your presence, you always diffuse with a peace that always ensues. Your allure is nothing but pure joy as I long because I belong for more. I am so glad that you stayed at my door, waiting while my soul was debating with self. Then you came clearing my need of man's approval off the shelf. For I was living for man. And then you looked at me and began a new thing. And I can sing your praises to thee, Jesus, the real reason for all things good, giving me more than you should, and more than I ever thought you would. And it is my prayer and my heart's desire that everyone that sees me sees only reflections of you, really shining through. And I want you to do what you do. Be great, for you make no mistakes. And Lord, please make this poem plain so that all people can retain. Because I do this not for any personal gain or fame, but because you came. I command that you loose chains, for there is power in your name. Jesus, I thank you for feeling compelled not to yell, but gently surround on the times I didn't want you around. But you instead led and bent down and then fixed my crown, put my feet on the ground. You provided, you guided, and reminded me of who you say that I am. And I am forever grateful and thankful to you, my sacrificial lamb.